Welcome to my energy update. And I am not in Cape Town. Look at this beautiful backdrop, and what an awesome time of the day to record this video. It's what we call the golden hour in Africa. And that is when it's not quite sunset, but it's kind of getting there. And it's just, even whether you're in Cape Town, South Africa, Africa, just in general, the golden hour. Let me give you a panoramic. Okay, so this is my house in Zimbabwe. I'm so happy to be here right now. And this is what all Zimbabwe houses look like. The properties are very, very big because there's not much going on here. So there's not much beyond the walls. So you make your playground inside. So this here is where I used to be an exercise specialist, and I used to work here back in the day. Pilates studio, healing, many a healing taking place there, many ayahuascas taken place there at that fire pit. And down there, one day we'll do a walkthrough while I'm here, and I'll take you through to my San Pedro garden. But this is my house in Zim. Maybe we do retreats here one day. Maybe we'll all sit around my table and laugh about this video and go, do you remember that time? But anyway, let's get into the magic still of May, okay? It has been a little bit magic and mayhem, I shan't lie, which is what this video is all about. So it's a little bit of an add-on on what we've already been doing. So let me first of all dive into kind of the announcements, as it were. So the temple, we're gathering in the temple on the last Thursday of every single month. I do believe it's on the 29th. Don't quote me, I haven't checked the dates. I've been traveling so much, but it's the last Thursday. So I think it's next week sometime we're going to get together, and we have indeed named May Wadjet month, which is the serpent energy, transformation, transition, lots of things going on. Still a lot of purging happening, but we're really starting to get a whiff of that magic now, aren't we? You know what I mean? And if you're not, it's coming. It is coming, because I'm moving us into joyous June. So I've anchored down on that. That's non-negotiable. Joyous June, right? So the temple is going to be about really working with the Cobra Kundalini, and I'm going to be doing a video that's quite in depth on that because it's quite a controversial subject, but we're going to be working with the Gospel of Marie. So let's just dive into that video, and then we'll topple into the temple, into the classroom, and we'll be working with Wadjet's medicine, who will very much be co-creating with Sekhmet, because she's always around. You can't have Wadjet without Sekhmet, but it is very much Sekhmet, Wadjet's platform. So this is all going to be about the snake energy and this very, very powerful serpent energy that is coiling up inside of us, which is Kundalini, and it's awakening us. That's why we're purging so much. That's why we're making so much space right now. This is why we're going through so much grief and all of the things, which I'm going to get into now, right? So I have 3 points here, 3 things to discuss, right? So we have been in a very, very intense month of May because snake energy is all about transformation. Snake energy is all about shedding the skin. It's all about the Kundalini energy, as I speak about, but most of all, the tone of this video, because you've been on a complete journey with me, right? So now where are we going? Where are we going, Marie? We're going into the earth. This is what Wadjet has kind of guided me to, right? So really, to be in the full embodiment of your power, to be sovereign, to be, in union, we have to have a deep connection with the cosmos, and just as a powerful connection with the cosmos into the earth. So as above, so below. And that's what Wadjet does, because she's of the earth anyway. She's very, very grounded medicine, because a snake will kind of like slither along the ground, and along her belly she will actually feel the ripples of the ley lines and the dragon lines. Remember, Wadjet is actually a winged cobra, okay? So that she's a serpent goddess of Egypt, and also the dragons are serpents. So there's this cross-pollination that comes into the dragon energy as well when we speak about Wadjet. So now we're really moving into this Kundalini awakening, where we have the divine masculine and feminine frequencies that kind of weave their way up your spine. Now there's much controversy when it comes to Kundalini, which I'm going to be getting into with my videos to come. We're going to be talking about, how that feels for you, and Kundalini, is it all about the shakes and the tremors? Not necessarily, no. Because this is where we need to really tap into our own medicine and our own experience of becoming. How did you get to connect with the cosmos? How did you get to connect with the earth? And how do you embody that medicine? And that's what I want to hear about, right? Because it's different for everybody, but it's certainly goes way beyond the shakes and the trembles. So when people speak about their Kundalini awakening, they say, oh, it happened to me in 1998 or whatever. I kind of like respectfully disagree with that, because not everybody is a boom clack, as it were. And I find that when that energy comes online like that, it's just a little peek into it. But the real Kundalini energy for me is the slow transformative process of the fire. We're talking about fire, and fire can actually burn as embers, especially in Africa when they do controlled burning. They actually set fire to the land, but the real transformation happens as you look at the ground. It burns away all of the old foliage to make way for new seeds and new growth. And that fire isn't the raging fire, it's that burning ember, and it goes on for days. And that's where the true power is. So are we exploding into a bunch of flames very dramatically, or are we kind of like the slow ember? And I do believe that the Kundalini awakening is very different to many people, and it's all about your belief systems again. So once again, in every single video, I'm always going on about, what do you think? What does Wadjet say to you from within, you know? So we're going to be doing videos on that this week, and we're going to be diving into that, and we're going to be working with this very, very powerfully. Where I'm really going to set you off into a journey with this, actually, because I've got a very powerful meditation I'm going to be sharing in the temple, and you're going to work with that, and you're really going to feel it, you know what I mean? And that's going to bring you into joyous June, because I want to talk about why we are actually going through all of this grief shifting and all of this darkness, right? So grief release, let's call it that, makes it a little less personal, doesn't it? But grief is the real depth of what's been sitting there for a very long time. And that's what we've been digging away, really getting to the bottom of it. Now, we've already spoken about this. We can't really clear away grief. You have to surrender to it. And that's the initiatory rites of death and rebirth. So of course, you know, that's something you just surrender to and you embrace. And then you end on that cycle of whatever, and then you start a brand new one of whatever. And you keep going, you keep rolling, right? So I'm just going to shift you guys around there, because even though it's golden hour, it's very hot. And even though it's winter, I'm sweating. And it's not my perimenopause, it really is the sun. But that's Wadjet, isn't it? And Sekhmet, right? Let me continue. Right, so we are clearing the way now, okay? So why all this grief? Why all this purging? Yes, we're going into the death and rebirth, which is, as I said, quite important. But also as well, we're making space. We're making space for what? More love, the joy. That is why I'm calling it Joyous June. So that is what the Kundalini rising and clearing and energy is all about. She burns away all blockages. This is going to affect your food, your sleep, the way you think, everything. Okay, so it comes all the way through the lower chakras, all the way to the upper chakras, until you've got this like clean vessel of, and now you just embody more love, because love is the only frequency, really, more joy, you know, and the true expression of success is joy. It's not fast cars and loads of money in the bank, because it just comes when you're in a joyous state and you're basically plugged into the universe and you're plugged into the earth, which is what Wadjet brings us through her Kundalini energy. That can only be achieved when you have that balance, right? So this is why I'm saying this video is very much about coming into the earth now, right? So we're making space for more joy. We're making space for more love. And when we have that, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, everything's tickety-boo, right? So now we're going to move on to the next point. Get grounded, okay? So grounded, like I've got a story to share with you. It's actually a little bit of a sad one, actually, but it brings in the tortoise energy. Work with me here, honestly. Brings in the tortoise energy as well as the Wadjet energy, the snake energy, right? But let's just go back to Wadjet first of all, and the get grounded statement, okay? Now, as I said, you're going to connect to the cosmos through Wadjet, you're going to connect to the earth, and then that is the stimulant and the electricity that brings about your Kundalini awakening, clearing, whatever you want to call it, right? So by getting grounded, we really, really are coming into the earth, because the snake, she slithers. She connects to the ley lines. She feels the vibrations of the earth. She's all about the earth, right? So this is about ascension through descension. Okay, it sounds a bit bonkers, doesn't it? But when we speak about ascension, we think, oh, the stars. But we are ascending to descend. So the actual ascension process goes on in the physical body. And the only way that you can activate your power, your Kundalini energy, or whatever you want to call it, into its fullness is by plugging it into the earth. You got nothing. I don't care how much of a psychic you are. I don't care how much story you get from, like, you know, these downloads up here and that. It don't mean nothing unless you plugged it into the ground. And I know that. I know that to be true because I have circled with all these stories and I had a channel and I had this. And it's like, okay, so Marie, you know all of that. You've got all of this wisdom from these higher beings and everything like that. But like, I've not been able to live by it because why? She hasn't been plugging it into the earth. So the absolute activating factor of all of this, you cannot pass go without it, is coming into the heart of Gaia. And I've said it before, I say it again, as starseeds, none of us wanted to come and land because it's just chaos here on Earth. But we're now really by our own process, taking our place on Earth, trusting that Wadjet is protecting us while we go through this deeply transformative process and coming into our physical bodies to be living here in the here and now. Enjoying good food, enjoying life, enjoying a sunset, enjoying traveling, enjoying going to the gym, whatever. Live. And that comes from being in this physical body here. You cannot create your abundance and live your best life unless you are here. So you'll be forever twirling, right? So it's about coming into the earth, you know? So now, my final point is where I was talking about tortoise energy. So, for you, those of you that have been watching my video, right, or videos, I was in Cape Town and I've been going through a lot of death, like physical death. All of my animals have died. They've all, end of cycle, that's what happens. They look and they go, yeah, okay, you're done, we're off. You know what I mean? And it's like, on paper, spiritually, that's a wonderful thing. On a human level, flipping awful. So there I was, both of my kids have left home at the same time. Came back from London, cat killed by a snake, great. Same day, the two dogs that live on this property both had to be put down because they were very old and they were very sick. Blessings that they were able to leave this planet together. You know, that was their blessings because usually they're running around behind me now. So this has been like a little bit of a sad trip coming here for the first time after that. So I get here, yesterday was my first day, had one last living pet on this very powerful land. And she's called Camba. Now Camba is the Shona name, the African name for tortoise. Now this tortoise was 50 years old when I got her and I've had her for 22 years. So she was in her 70s, right? And I came home yesterday and I was like, oh, I'm driving through the gate now and I'm like, I want to find Camba, I wonder where she is. And as I drove in, she'd put herself right in the gate. It's got this electric gate opened and I drove over her and I killed her instantly. That story went quite dark, I know. I've been really in it. But messages from spirit, messages from her. It was the final purge and push. And it was the embodiment of the tortoise energy. So now tortoise now joins snake. And I'm sharing this with you because this medicine is extremely powerful. You know, it's African medicine. It's very powerful. The tortoise and the snake go very strongly together. And I know that this is going to make a lot of sense to you because when in the shamanic understanding, when you kill an animal, okay, you embody its power and its medicine. She, after much counsel with her, now she's passed on, she wanted to go. She was waiting to deliver me a message because she was helping me transition. She was at the cusp of the gate. The gate is the crossroads. Hecate at play. Most potent point of energy is, and magic is at the crossroads, right? So that's where I drove over her and she was killed instantly. So blessings for that. Even though it was really hard. And that was my last living animal, like pet on this property. This property is glowing. It's vibrating. Kids have gone. Animals have gone. I'm going to get into the tortoise medicine in a minute. What is it telling me here? Am I losing everything or is it creating space? Is it creating space? Just me and my husband here now. So it's time, gift of time, maybe, a gift of reunion, because it's so quiet and peaceful and still here. Now let's talk about Camba's medicine. And I want to dedicate this video to Camba because she's a tortoise, she's ancient, she's old, and she's wise AF. Her medicine, right, okay, basically her shell is the womb, right? That's the tortoise medicine. But the tortoises represent mastery over slow time. They take their time, slow, methodical, you know, and they represent the slow pace of that stillness and the self-mastery that comes from that. And she's very much coupled with the snake energy. So she's of the earth, she's very much Gaia. So's Wadjet, because Wadjet is the snake, but she moves quickly and she strikes. So she coils up around the tortoise. In fact, inside her shell fills that whole space. So now we have fast lightning energy can strike at any moment, deeply connected to the earth, coupled with her opposing opposite, slow, grounded, methodical, right? So those two energies together, like wowzers. So her parting gift to me, which was very traumatic to go through yesterday, I was like, God, can I go through any more grief, honestly, of losing animals? But since I've come to peace with it today, and I've had help actually trying to decipher the medicine, because this has been huge. It's the last of it all. And the ultimate message that came from this that I want to share with you, from all of my animals. This is what happened, because I had a reading with my friend today who helps me a lot with all the animal medicine. And she just said, why are you grieving? She says, I've just tapped into all of your animal kingdom that's passed on. And she said, the souls of your children you left at the same time, they are celebrating. They're all standing up going, woo, we did it. We did it. Meanwhile, Marie back at the ranch is actually heartbroken and crying because I'm experiencing so much grief and loss. And they're like, we did it. We cleared their space, meaning me and my husband's space. So now they can have time for them to fill their lives with joy, with love, with time and space to actually focus on them, on themselves for the first time ever, which backs up the message of this video. So if you're going through grief and you're going through this intense time, you've got to ask yourself, why? Why are you going through it? For what purpose? So yes, you go through the death and rebirth and everything like that. What now? Well, you've got to come in and make space so you can live here, in this sacred divine vessel that anchors you to this earth, so you can experience the love and the joy of being in a physical body. You might not feel it now, but you're going to feel it soon. And I'm telling you now, from the middle of May, I've just been hearing joyous June, joyous June, joyous June. So this is where we're at. So I invite you to come to Temple, because the Temple gathering this month is going to be a real purge, surge, propelling into that next level where you embody the wisdom of Wadjet, you activate that Cobra Kundalini, and you bring online the joyfulness of living in this physical body, because I ain't going anywhere yet. I'm not ready to die yet. I've decided I've got too many tours and videos to do. I've got way too many tours and videos to do. So earlier this morning, I was angry at spirit. This is the second time I've done this video, because this morning I was a little bit graty, but I did a video anyway. This video is very different to the one that I was going to share with you, you know? And I was very angry at spirit. And that's okay as well. So if you're experiencing anger where you're going, oh my God, give me a break, spirit. You know what I mean? That's okay. That's your human aspects. Anger's fire, or burn it up. But it's all part of the human process, and that's those parts that we have to love. So we bring all of that into alignment, but we really call in the fire of Wadjet now, the fire of Sekhmet. We burn it all away, and we come into this place where you are empowered. You are in your power, and being in your power means being in your body. Being in your power means you're being completely anchored and held by Gaia, completely protected by Wadjet and Sekhmet. There's nothing to fear. As you go through this transformation, you're so protected. So I'm going to leave that there. And I've got some very, very magical videos coming, because I'm going to be going off to the bush of Africa. You coming with me? I have just been told by my husband today that we're going off to Mana Pools, which is a very sacred place to me. So we're going to get videos of elephants, hopefully lion. So I'm going to take you to the wild, and I'm going to show you the other part of my life. And I haven't been here for 2 years, so I'm really actually quite excited that we're all going on a holiday together. So stay tuned. I'm going to be rolling out some videos. There'll be a quiet patch because I'll be in the bush, and then I'll come back and I'll share. But yeah, we're going to see the lions. How cool is that? So I'm putting that out to spirit. Please bring the wild lions. I'd like to share it with all my friends, please, because they're all here. Anyway, as always, so much love from me to you. We walk together, arms linked. We're doing this. Peace.